everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in the wild beyond the Witchlight. Part 14, Loomlurch, or Wayward Pool, Part 2. Today is April 17th, 2022, and you are loved. That is a very important thing that we like to remind each and every single one of our viewers and listeners at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can go towards where anywhere audiocasts are being made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. Now, I know I just said Patreon in the same breath that I said that things were being made available for free, and you might think that those two things don't coincide, but as it turns out, if you go there, everything is being made public facing. You don't have to be a patron in order to get access to that after show. You just gotta go there, check it out, and then if you do decide to help us out with our monthly bills, I will not stop you, mostly because it's greatly appreciated when that does happen. If you do want to ask us questions, you can feel free to post them in the Twitch chat to the side if you're watching this live at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Sundays. Or you can join us in our Discord in the link down below of this video or audio cast. You can find us there. It's a great time. But let's say that you already support us on YouTube and Twitch, and you already are looking for other places to help support the show. You can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. We got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, and we also have face masks. That's right, we have face masks with the symbol of Tiamat upon them, designed by our very own Cyberwolf1201. So if you have any face masks that you're looking to get, feel free. Again, indooradventure.redbubble.com. Other than that, all the proceeds from our merch is going to help support Doctors Without Borders currently. So if you'd like to help support a good cause, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. But that's it for my opening spiel. Hey, RJ, who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and today I'm playing Vice, the Tiefling Rogue.
And I'm Sarah. I will be playing Lowry, our Hexblood Spore Druid.
And I'm Mediaflare. I'm now nervous to stumble over my own words, and I will be playing Pamferdam Roski, the Gnome Artificer. Oh!
Hey everybody, I'm Wings. I'm going to be playing as Clout, the Bard Tiefling.
And hello everybody, I am the Indoor Adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, last we left off, we woke up in the morning, felt great, talked to Will of the Wood. He was in the process of drawing up a big plan how y'all were going to be able to infiltrate Loomlurch. I realize now that we've said the name of this fucking place for like 5 sessions that in the book it's spelt Loomlurch. I don't like that. I'm the god here. Loomlurch is the name of it because it's a fallen tree and I like the sound of it better. So also to cover my own buns. It was at that point that Will also agreed that they were going to stake out the Fae or the Hag's Den overnight to find out what time in the morning that she woke up. In exchange, Will asked to have some coffee because he too is an adult. To which you gave him Robitussin and said it was coffee, and both him as well as his orcish companion seemed to also try and take this to no effect. It turns out that it's not coffee, it's not good coffee, it's bad yuck coffee, being Robitussin. Now, it was at that point that they also explained that in order to reach Wayward Pool, the way that you bypass the unicorn's magic that prevents you from accessing it is to pretend to be a unicorn. To which you all thought, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. There's no way that's correct. And the children, again, told you and informed you that it was indeed the way. Bringing out what looked like a horse costume that had like a shitty stick tied to the front, and that is when one of the children haughtily said that you can't just turn into a horse, to which Lowry turned into a horse. That child then, no longer feeling sassy, but instead having eyes bright and wide with wonder, looked upon Lowry, and that is when we went to our break. And it turned out that was going to be the break for the week, because technical issues happen. We're recovering. That's no worries. We figured it out. So while that happens, I need to grab my book from the shelf, because I've been using D&D Beyond, but I realize I work better with the book, so I'll be right back.
What were we immediately doing? I know we had just changed one of us into a horse. Were
Well,
we on
one
the
of the-
way?
Yeah, I think so. One of the kids was enamored with Lowry.
And oh yeah, she was horse girling. She was horse girling the shit out of Lowry.
She was Cinderella horse girling.
Yes, absolutely.
Not like I
I have
like
notes.
horses.
I have goddamn notes. Her name is Sloane.
Sloane, yes.
Red-haired wood elf girl. And there was also a can of oil that we
Nope, we're not
promptly
talking about them. They
avoided.
don't exist. They do not exist.
I forget what their name was,
Squirt.
but Squirt, yep, there you go. That's the reason.
Well, if you cut the right artery, anyone's a squirter, really.
I would
Yeah.
like for Lowry to turn around and just both hooves kick
No, no,
Vice.
no, no, no.
Cut to outside the tree and he just goes flying.
Well, thankfully, you again are on your way to Wayward Pool. Now, approaching Wayward Pool is fairly easy, especially when you have Juniper, your owl bear companion. Thankfully, I believe the cart is still in use. You haven't disassembled the cart or anything like that up until this
Not
point.
yet.
Not yet.
Excellent. So that means that it does not take very much time at all to actually reach Wayward Pool. Along this path, you can see that every once in a while things get like a little like you don't really remember the way to the path. Thankfully, Sloane is knowledgeable enough that she's able to help direct. And once you reach the outskirts of where you remember you started getting turned away, Sloane begins to explain the process of how to appear as a unicorn for this. And she explains, all right, so because normally we'd all be able to fit under the horse costume, but because you guys are bigger than we are, it's not really going to work. So like two of you could probably go under the horse costume, although if you had like a knife or something pointy that you could put on
Shink.
Miss Lowry, then that might work too.
Clout raises a hand. I can fix the size problem.
Lowry just looks at Vice, and have you ever seen a horse bare its teeth?
It's like the lips come
Mhm.
at you.
What? I'm just going to tie the pommel onto like the top of your head or something to make like a false horn.
I mean,
Gonna
like,
back
if
away.
you just give me like 2 minutes, and I can make like a wooden horn, and it's much less like a knife in the top of the head.
Yeah, this
Shakes
feels
her,
like
shakes her head at Pamferdam.
You all are
This
no
feels like a
fun.
Pam situation.
Yeah, just give me a couple of minutes. I'll go grab a stick and get to work.
And Pamferdam will try and search for a suitable piece of wood to carve into a conical shape.
Vice is going to approach Juniper because he did hear that. Oh, what's wrong, girl?
It just like headbutts you,
Scritches?
lifts chin up.
Was it just scritches?
Yeah, it looks like Juniper just didn't, like, wanted to feel like they were participating in the conversation.
Oh, bless.
Baby.
And Vice, you also have the curious feeling that if you were to tie a knife or some other pointy thing to Juniper's head, it would maybe count as a Pegasus or as a unicorn for this.
Unicorn.
Boop.
Like, again, like if you've ever tried putting a hat onto a cat and they're just like, ah, fuck. Like Juniper is very
Juniper,
much like,
don't flail. This is dangerous shit.
yeah, Vice, roll an animal handling check.
Lord help me.
As Vice has successfully made an owlbear more dangerous.
15?
A 15? Okay. Yeah, Juniper will let this knife like rest on their head. And they're just like, grrr.
It's only for a short time, girl. It'll be fine.
The eyes sort of like narrow. And you see like their claws like flex a little bit. You can tell that they don't want this to be a permanent thing, and you know that it's not going to be a permanent thing either, but as soon as you take this off, they'll be a lot happier again.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Pam, you have found Stick. You are carving out Stick to be an excellent horn. And Pam, much in the same way that you have felt back when you were in Hither and nearing downfall, as well as throughout multiple times in your life as well, you get the sense that you are being observed by something.
Pamferdam will pop their head up and do a quick look around and listen.
Hello?
Perception. Pamferdam rolled a 7 for perception.
Okay. Yeah, on a 7, you don't hear any movement. You don't see anything out of the ordinary. And then you look over and you see that Vice has tied a knife onto an owlbear's head.
Pamferdam is very relieved to remember that Clapper Claw is safely hiding in a bag of holding right
Yes.
Otherwise, once they finish the horn, it's kind of twisted and gnarled in a way, and is a bit like too efficiently sharpened at the end, and is more like an actual spear, but is shaped and ready to be used as a little horsey headband.
Okay. Sounds good.
Say, Sloan, you say that normally a large amount of children can fit under this.
Yeah, I mean, like, all 4 of us can usually fit under this, but, I mean,
Right,
you guys
okay.
are, like, twice as big.
Would you reckon if one of us were about the size of Pam, we could make it work?
I mean, one of you already is the size of Pam, and it's Pam.
Yeah, but in addition to Pam,
There's
another
a hand
person.
that goes over for
That's
a
me.
low 5.
Oh, to Sloan?
Yeah, to Sloan.
Yeah,
that was a
Sloan,
good
like,
one.
looks at it and, like, like, high-fives him.
Don't you fucking encourage this.
What? It was a good jibe.
He rolls his eyes. So if say Vice was about the size of Pam, would we be able to make it work?
I mean, yeah, probably.
He's gonna reach over and like touch Vice on the shoulder and say, I'm gonna shrink you.
I'm sorry, but my actual professional is way back in Waterdeep. Whoa!
I'm gonna cast Enlarge Reduce. I'm casting Reduce on Vice. And if you choose to fail, then it works, but otherwise you gotta make a con save.
I choose to fail.
Thank you. Safe words pineapple.
There's a popping noise and a little bit of smoke as Vice is like in the air slightly and lands.
Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? You could have forewarned me or something.
He like covers his face and like is clearly stifling laughter.
Listen, you fuck, I can headbutt you in the chest now.
Oh my god, I've never done this before. I didn't know that your voice is gonna be like that.
There's a
our
whinnying.
voice boxes are only just like a half a centimeter long, so
There's a whinnying from
Oh my
Lowry.
god, Pam, I wonder what would happen if I made you bigger.
I'd probably have a hard time balancing, but I'll probably get used to it.
Well,
Just allow it. Yeah.
this only works for like a minute, so we better get going.
Dibs on the front.
Throws the costume on over all of us. And there is like a shuffling inside, as obviously there's a struggle for who gets to go in the front.
Slice, get on my shoulders. Slice, get on my shoulders. Oh, I get it now. 2 kobolds in a trench coat. Okay. I got more skill with my small legs, so I'll be the bottom.
This is my favorite thing I've ever done.
I've always wanted to be the top. Wait a minute. Don't stop moving around.
DM, how long have we been at this? Because I can stay in my wild shape for 1 hour.
We'll say that, like, with Clout having done this and being like, we only have a minute left, Lowry, you can also tell that your abilities cooldown is coming up soon. If you're going to be doing this as a team, now is the time for going.
She's just gonna start nudging everyone with their nose to get into the the costume.
All right, go. All right,
Yeah,
we're
we
in
scoot.
character.
We're scooting.
Horse. Lowry, that's my butt.
She bites Vice's leg.
Ow.
All right.
And
so we
as
scoot
this
boogie.
like amalgam horse, this faux horse, this sorry excuse of a horse, being the costume, is like going forward. And Lowry, you're prancing forward, doing your best horse. And then Juniper is like trying their best to do the same movements that Lowry is, but they are no horse. They are a bear. Skeletons are different. And together, your group marches forward. And there is a certain point where you feel that there is like a light wind of almost warm, sweet air that seems to come by. And at that point, you feel like you have passed by this sort of magical barrier. And as you near this central pool, you can see that mist drifts over the surface of a small lake. Forested crags line the shore on one side of the lake, and the mossy rocks protrude from the shallows. Near the center of the lake is a rocky islet. And Sloane, who now, like, getting to the point of the water, like, step out of the horse costume, and she points towards the rocky islet, and says, whenever we needed to talk to the unicorn, Will would always just, like, go over there, and then he would light a thing on fire, and then that's usually what summoned the unicorn.
What would he light on fire?
I don't know. I don't go over there. It's probably like, I don't know, it looked like it was in a bowl or something.
Was it something specific?
He just said that, like, he was the best at doing it, so that we should just let him do it. And then one time, Bobby said that it was his turn to light the sconce, and Will said no, because Bobby didn't even know what a sconce was. He just heard Will say it, and then Bobby ended up trying to punch Will, but Will was really fast, and Bobby missed, and he hit his hand against the wall, and then he started crying. But you didn't hear that from me.
Right.
Vice hops off of
There's a
Pamferdam.
squeak as Pam is hit to the ground when Vice returns to size.
Okay, well, Sorry, Pam. I feel like I owe you dinner after this.
That's fine. I think I should have counted seconds next time. Do we need to stay in the horse costume the whole time we're in here, or did we finish the horse part?
I mean, you look really good in a horse costume, so you could stay in it if you want. I mean, you look like you could pretty much wear anything, though.
Well, thanks.
Another hand comes over for a low five.
Yeah, well, thanks and all, but like, it seems like you're kind of reluctant to go over there and light the thing, and we can't start a fire while also wearing a costume. It's kind of dangerous.
There's a pop and Lowry goes back to normal Lowry. I can go light it on fire. I'm actually very good at arson.
Do you have any idea what sort of thing a unicorn might want to be burned?
What are you asking?
Yourself. I don't know, you know a lot about magic stuff, right?
I mean, I know about some magic things. DM, can I roll something to see what Lowry knows?
Sure.
Does Lowry know
Nature?
things?
Roll an Arcana.
Is that nature arcana? Okay.
Roll an
I
Arcana.
have-
Yeah.
Magic horse.
I don't know jack shit. I rolled a 2.
Okay, like, there are certain fae things that Lowry is knowledgeable in. Surprisingly, unicorns just, like, you haven't gotten to that part of the book club yet.
What about
I mean,
you, Pam? You got any
I know they
idea?
have horns.
I don't know anything about unicorns.
And you just see like two little like bumps in the costume pop up as they throw their hands up.
And you can see that this stone islet that you guys are debating on how to get to is about 250 feet away across this still water. And, like, looking at the water itself, it does not look deep. Pam, it's probably going to come up to about, like, waist high on you. But Juniper will hop into the water and then just begin, like, bringing her large paws up to try and bat off the knife.
Darling, Vice like runs over to take the knife off.
Well, Sloan, did the fire smell anything special, or like did it do any different colors or anything, or did it just look like a regular fire?
You know, what would be a very smart idea is to go over to the sconce and check if there are any remnants inside said sconce to indicate what we should burn.
Maybe we can identify it from there.
I don't know.
Right.
Will just said that, like, there's only one place that you can light a fire on this whole lake, and that it's in the sconce.
Okay, so then Lowry and Vice, you can go over and start a fire, and me and Clout will be the horse.
Okay. Lowry starts walking off.
Oh, hold on. Did
What?
he mean that there's only one place you can light a fire, or only one place you should light a fire?
I think it's one place that you can light a fire, because, like, we may have tried lighting a few campfires, because this is a really good place to kind of, like, hang out if you don't want to be on, like, if Scabbeth is chasing you and you want to avoid her a little bit. Because if she doesn't know the trick about the horse, then she can't come in. If she's not a unicorn, she can't, like, get by the barrier. So we were trying to, like, camp out, and we kept trying to light a fire, and it didn't work. But then
Right.
Will said that he was the best at lighting fires, and none of us believed him because he is a fibber sometimes. He tells he's not a good liar, okay? But, like,
Right. I guess we'd better get to this sconce then.
Lowry's already taken off her boots. Feet already going in the water.
Vice is like in the water, offers a hand to Lowry.
Sloan is going to climb up onto the back of Juniper.
How cold is the water?
It feels fine. Like the entire demi-plane of thither, this section that you are in. It's nice. It's warm. I would say it's probably, like, temperature-wise, you're looking at, like, the coldest it's gonna get is gonna be that, like, nighttime 60s. where like it's been like warm all day and then it finally cooled off, but it's still like not cold enough that you feel like you really have to bundle up. Like you can still be in like a t-shirt if you want. And with
How
this
deep
being,
is it?
huh?
How deep is it?
It doesn't look very deep.
Okay.
Yeah, and like Juniper, who with Sloane on her back is like going in, you see that it never gets up past like Juniper's forearm. So for Pam, this might be a deeper lake, but Pam, if you also wanted to be on Juniper's back, you can be.
Well, I'm the blood of the horse.
Pam, you want to lift?
Wait, we're all going now? Well, aren't we gonna mess up the costume?
You only needed to be a horse for like the initial part.
Yeah, I think we
Oh,
can.
well, in that case,
Pam
Yeah.
just throws it off. It's dead to them.
Poor Pam's been in the costume the whole time.
Yeah,
Plus,
They've been like kind of like tapping their toes to pretend to be like clopping and shit.
incredible. Do you want to lift across the lake?
yeah, I'd prefer it. Look, got a lot of clothes. I'd prefer not to get wet.
All right, he'll lean down and let Pam crawl up onto his shoulders. Just don't hold on to the horns, all right? They're sensitive.
Okay.
It just grabs a chunk of hair.
Honestly, preferable. There you go.
Okay. So yeah, you guys go the 250 feet across this fresh, still water lake. And you can see that Juniper seems to be like tentatively leading you forward, that there are spots where if you look down on either side, that it seems almost like there are drop-offs that go deeper into the water. And you'd be looking at roughly around... you're guessing that like there are spots in this lake that are around 30 feet deep. But all things considered, you are able to go to this rocky islet. And as you get to this islet, you see that like there are trees, there are rocks, and then there is just this stone sconce that has like these nice stone steps that have been put in, just these nice rock slabs that seem to lead up to it. And then the view from where the sconce is just a pristine view of the lake that has a little bit of mist that seems to be rolling over it. And you know, based off of where you were walking through this lake, on your more, like, on again, that kind of raised piece of earth that you were in, that is near, like, the mist is showing or covering where, like, the deeper parts of the lake are going to be.
We avoid the deeper parts.
Yes.
And just try to wade across in the shallow parts.
oh, but a swim might be nice.
Maybe
I don't know
after-
Or
how,
deadly.
so it would not.
I'm sure it's fine.
I was sure that tree was fine.
Actually,
I mean, that tree was much bigger than you, so you probably should have. You know what? It's fine.
This
Hey.
lake's bigger than me, too.
hey Simon.
Hmm?
If I take a moment to stoop and like scoop up some water and like just take a sniff at it, is it stagnant at all?
No, it smells sweet.
Take a sippy.
It's delicious. Let me see. Ba-ba.
Make a Constitution save.
And my new character is
Unicorn. Because
Pixie.
Vice just turned into a unicorn.
No, it if you are, for example, if you are used to like heavily treated water in the city, and then you go to a small town and they're like, oh yeah, we get all of our water from a well,
Yeah.
but like it's still treated, but like it just has a much more like rich, fuller water taste
Mhm.
to
I
it.
get that.
Like there's like
Mhm.
there's no additives, there's nothing else, it's just water. That's what this tastes like.
This would also probably be a good spot to refill our water skins. The water itself doesn't seem contaminated any.
Oh, you were carrying a water skin?
Yes, it's important to keep hydrated. What is it the kids say back in Waterdeep? Hydrate or die straight?
They don't say that in Waterdeep.
I don't think those things correlate.
It's a tenor phrase.
Oh.
Walk, 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 walk.
Okay. And when you reach this stone, it's not really like an altar necessarily, but you do see that it is, again, this sconce that rests atop of this stone pillar. And looking at this sconce, you can tell that it is made of iron, inside of which there are some coals that just rest. But it doesn't look like there is any like remnants of like old wood or like an arm or like anything weird and wild that you would need to actually check out for.
Lowry's gonna take out her tinderbox and just try to light it.
Okay. Make a survival check.
Oh no. 22.
22? Yeah. There's no issue on that. You are able to light the fire with the coals. And it takes a little bit of doing, but eventually there is just a nice fire that seems to burn within this small sconce.
Well, it's lit.
So is that it? How long does this usually take?
And Sloane says, I'm not really sure, because like whenever Will lights the fire, he just like points his finger at the coals and then there are like some sparks and then it usually works. So like you working with like tools, I'm not sure, but normally it doesn't take very long. And before she can finish, you see that the mists that were rolling over this side of the lake, the mists part to reveal a white horse with a single gleaming horn on her brow, and she stands perfectly still, silently observing you. This is a unicorn.
Oh, wow. Hi.
And you see that they are walking along the surface of the water in the spots where you know that is like the deep end.
Wow.
Happy Easter, everyone. Yeah. Cautiously approach. Don't scare her off.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like quietly move down to the edge of the water and see if she approaches.
Okay.
Should I turn back into a horse?
I don't know. Do you think that'll help?
I don't
I
know.
think that would be offensive.
I don't know.
Kind of in trial and
Something-
error point right now, so why not?
Yeah. See, they are really into flattery, so I mean, they might see it as a form of flattery. Maybe I just shouldn't. Maybe I should wait.
Yeah.
We'll see if they don't want to talk to us first, and then we'll try the horse approach.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that sounds good.
Clout moves down to the water and just sort of waves at it.
And it continues to look in your direction. And you see like its horse eyes narrow slightly looking at you.
Hi. We need some help, please.
And you're approaching?
Yeah.
Okay.
She'll go down with Clout.
Yeah,
So-
Pam's still on Cloud's shoulders.
What is the marching order?
Clout's by the water with Pam on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lowry's next to Clout.
Vice behind.
Okay. So Clout, Pam, Lowry, and Vice, as you all make the approach. Let me see here.
Clout get smout. Clout get smout.
The lot of you here. Hello, travelers. Why have you come to Wayward Pool? And it's this majestic looking creature. It has like a little bit of like the billy goat beard, but it seems to be almost golden spun, flowing in a slight breeze. Their mane also caught upon this nameless wind, mist unfurling around them.
Clout gives
Oh,
Lowry a pat on the back.
Sloane! So lovely to see you again, darling. And Sloane just like waves at them.
What did you say is Clout? Wings?
Clout gives Lowry a pained look.
What? What's wrong? Are you okay? Does your tummy hurt? Do you want some mint? Do you want some ginger? Do you want something? I don't know.
Nope.
Hold her up while I'm riding on you.
Hey,
I'm
Cloud.
doing great. This
do you-
is fine.
Hey, Cloud. Do you know who this reminds me of?
Just tips his head.
Those horses back at the carnival.
Oh, they were wonderful.
They were wonderful.
They're quite lovely.
You know, the resemblance is uncanny. Hello there.
Why are we here? Look at my nose.
We need some help. And we're looking for an alicorn.
An alicorn?
Alicorn, like a unicorn but with wings.
Oh! Well, that would be awful fancy. I'm sorry to say I have not seen one myself.
That's a shame.
Yes.
We were also looking for advice concerning Grandfather Oak.
Mm-hmm. They're very ill.
Oh, yes. No, I have heard of their ailments from the sprites that live within their bowels. Shame. Shame. If only there was something we could do.
Aren't you a unicorn?
Yes?
Aren't unicorns supposed to, I don't know, have healing powers or something?
Well,
Yes, we were told that you could help.
I'm afraid that my help is oft limited. Not off limits, CC, often limited.
What do you mean?
Yeah, how so?
Well, my partner, Elidon, they were capable of grandiose healing. And often, well, before they were taken from me by the Hourglass Coven, despicable, horrible,
You know-
evil.
Which of the coven house him?
I am unsure. But I know that he yet lives. If he were to have perished, I would have sensed it.
What's his partner's name?
Elidon.
Is that Elladon?
Elidon.
What's your name, fair unicorn?
My name is Lamorna.
Elidorn and Lamorna.
And what of you? Champion of Spilda?
He seems to take that to heart, like, oh, she knows who I am.
Don't feel they talk about you.
You have a motherfucking...
Yeah, no, I see, but we are shouting across a lake. Unicorns
It's
got
literally-
wicked
yeah.
good
They're
eyesight.
60
your
feet
cheek and
away.
I think they saw
Yeah.
this.
They are 60 feet away from where you are.
Yeah, 60 feet. That's
Oh, should
pretty
we
good
be
eyesight.
yelling? Can you even hear us?
I can hear you just fine. The unicorn says, again, telepathically to all of you.
Oh, I see. Call me Clout. Listen, Lamorna, we're gonna do anything we can to get Elidorn back, alright? We're here to help. We know that the Hourglass Coven has really screwed things up here. So we're gonna get rid of them. Or stop them. Or something. I don't know. What are we doing with them?
I think we're trying to restore the previous owner of the kingdom.
Yeah.
Destroying them all and grinding their kingdom into ash?
But in order
Basically
to do
that.
that, I need to find an alicorn. So, I don't know. Did Elidorn have wings? No unicorn with wings. I really need to find this winged unicorn.
What about a Pegasus with a horn?
Yeah, how about that?
Oh, I have not seen or heard tale of either of these things.
You don't get out much, do you, Lamorna?
I stay here at the Wayward Pool in case the lost children seek refuge, or in case my beloved were to return. There are many horrible things that exist out in the woods. There's the Hourglass Coven, the horrid Jabberwock. My terrible things.
What is a Jabberwock?
Jabberwock
No, this is definitely the first time I've ever heard that
is a
word.
draconian-like creature with large glowing eyes, grasping hands, slender sinew. And
Keep that
as Lamorna is saying this, the water next to them takes on a shape. And as it takes on that shape, let me see if I can find it real quick.
I think Moongrave might have a partner.
And it
All right.
looks like
Oh, look at that cutie.
this.
Bug-eyed
Yeah,
cutie.
big ol' eyes.
Actually, it's fucking adorable.
Beware
really
the
is.
Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite and claws that catch.
Yes. Terrible, horrible things in these woods. But you
Is-
said you were here to help.
Yes.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
though
The
he's not an...
Jabberwock, that green dragon that's around here?
That is the Jabberwock.
Ha! I knew that.
Yeah.
Clout
Okay,
says
so
he turns
just,
around
just to be
points at
sure, that
Vice.
means that the
Cla-
Jabberwock is not a dragon, or is the Jabberwock a dragon?
It is a dragon, but it is more fearsome and terrifying a hunter than any clawed, flying-scaled beast I have ever met.
Vice is gonna pat his coat down, go into the inner lining. Here's a cookie for you, and flip Cloud off.
Sloane goes to give you a high five.
Hold on. Have I,
You
have I
really
got
shouldn't teach the children
anything here? I'm gonna use thaumaturgy to shake the ground underneath him. Like, Clout just stomps at him like in a like, what? You gonna fight kind of way? And like just sort of shakes the ground at him.
I abhor violence!
Oh, look at that, Cloud. You've upset her.
Remember, this is a place of peace.
Sorry, they're like this a lot. They mean it in friendship, I believe. It's a way of showing affection.
Oh,
You stop it right now.
you
God,
Other
bipeds
horn and
express...
shove it right up your nose.
Still sitting on the
Biped-
top of Clout, Pamferdam asks.
You mentioned that Eladon was more skilled with healing.
Yes.
Are they more like, are they like wiser? Like, do they like know more about the world? Do you think they might know where we can find an Alicorn?
I am unsure. To be fair, again, I have not seen them in quite some time.
Can you tell us more about the disappearance?
Why, yes. Let me see here.
Yeah, like if you can remember anything about like the important details, or like if you remember how anybody looked, or even if you were in thither when this happened.
Why, we were in the lands that would later become thither. When the Hourglass Coven initially turned everything into the way as you see it, Eladon attempted to stop them. As you see, in the Palace of Heart's Desire, the builder and others are trapped in a sort of time stasis by powerful ancient magics. Eladon's horn could have been used to undo that powerful magic. Knowing this, the Coven kidnapped him. And that was the last I saw of my beloved.
Were you not there when they were taken?
he cried that this was a journey for him and him alone. That I was to wait patiently for his return. However, I have heard it told that he was unsuccessful.
Do you know where this palace is? Is it here in Thither, or is it somewhere?
It lies at the center of Prismere.
So Jan then.
No! Yon is the third aspect of Prismere.
It's like a pie, and then right in the center.
Lenora, as they are speaking...
Lenora, oops.
Lenora or Lamorna?
Lamorna,
Yeah.
sorry.
Lamorna, okay.
Yeah, Lamorna will create what looks like a map
Oh boy.
of the domain of Prismere.
I love visual aids in the middle of conversations. It's just so useful.
Here is
Holy
the map.
shit, look at that.
There is hither, thither, and yon.
Ooh.
Hither and thither being being the smallest, thither being where you are at now, which is the deep green, and yon being the stormy, cloudy area. And at the center of it all, right there, is the Palace of Heart's Desire.
Very cool.
The Queen's Road used to lead directly to it. But then, after the Hourglass Coven came, they destroyed the road and made it impossible for most to be able to navigate through the mists. This is why journeys between hither, thither, and yon are almost impossible without a proper guide.
Good thing we have one of those.
For memory recall, Simon, did we see a unicorn horn separated from a head at Blake Claw's place?
You did not.
We were told that I think Skabatha had not Skabatha. Let me look at my notes.
Somebody's got it. It's one of
Skabatha
them.
has a unicorn horn as a prized possession from Endelin.
Yes.
And
Endelin
so-
had it and gave it to Skabatha. Is that what it was?
Something like that?
I think it was a gift then.
But that's why I'm assuming that Endelin has this unicorn's partner.
Yeah. So, if and when we find this horn, it'd be a great idea to pin it on somebody else.
If you found the horn, the best place to pin it would be to return it to my partner.
That's the plan.
Can we just do that? If we just nail it back on the head, will it heal itself?
I am unsure.
For most things, horns are actually an extension of bone and quite the bleeders.
Well, if we do run across the horn, or hopefully Eladon, we will try and make sure they come back, because it sounds like we're going to need their help to heal Grandfather Oak.
A lot of things, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No. We're gonna try and fix all this, okay?
I don't think Klappa has ever been to Yon.
We'll need to find another guide.
Maybe Will knows how to get there.
Perhaps.
Will doesn't know how to get to Yon, but Squirt does. That's where he said that he was from, and then he found his way here. And
God damn it.
Well, Squirt, I don't remember being that one. I
Squirt's
remember
this
Zenor
really
and Bobby,
awesome oil can that we found, and sometimes he tells us dirty jokes, and they're really funny.
Oh my god.
hate this
Sloan,
already.
you know
Nobody
where I can
mentioned
find
the
some
oil
bog oil
can.
around here?
The only place you can actually find boggles is going to be at Skabatha's house.
Great.
Because boggles
Awesome.
they love it when kids are having a bad time. And I can't think of any place in this entire area that's having a worse time for kids than Skabatha's house.
Great. Cool.
So it sounds like we're gonna do a two birds, one stone kind of thing if we go to the castle or
Yeah.
Skabatha's place.
I'd
Mhm.
also like to find a way to disable the red cap production, as it were.
Yeah, we could burn that whole shit down for all I care.
We're gonna be very busy while we're here, aren't we?
We sure are.
Yeah.
Sloan,
Yeah.
what do you know about the Jabberwock?
That it's scary, and if we see it, we're supposed to stay really quiet and not move.
Is Gabatha affiliated with it? Sorry, is Gabatha friends with it?
Not really, from what I've been told. It's not like they're like friends, and it's not like they're like they met at work and they're like friends kind of thing. But it's more that if they just like don't cross paths, they're not going to be mad at each other. And
Clout starts tapping his chin, and he looks at the rest of the party, and he says, "I think we should change that."
Lamorna says, "The Jabberwock used to reside within the palace walls, but ever since the Hourglass Coven created the 3 separate places known as hither, thither, and yon, the Jabberwock has been out of house, so to say."
Oh, so if we like lured it to Scabatha's place, it's kind of like just bringing it home, then, right?
Was the Jabberwock loyal to the Sleeping Queen? Do I know that Zybilna is the Sleeping Queen?
Yes.
I need to. All right.
Yes,
So
yes,
was he
yes.
loyal to Zybilna?
As far as I'm aware, its loyalty was constantly in question. I would do the best you can to avoid such a foul beast.
Does it speak any?
According to Tim Burton, yes. Sorry.
The only
is a dragon.
language that it speaks is the language of death.
Lovely.
It screams more than it communicates. It's an unearthly howl.
I don't know, guys. Sounds like a great way to deal with a hag.
All right.
Yeah, it's definitely not on the table thing.
Calm down, because for one, we need to think of the children. A rampaging Jabberwock in the city full of children is not good.
No, of course. We got to make sure that the children stay away from it. But perhaps if we could lead Scabatha out into the woods,
How
get
would
the
we do
children out of
that?
there first.
One of us is going to be invisible for an entire day to her.
What if there was something out this way that she really wanted?
Like her portrait.
Like her sister's book of bad blood.
Interesting.
You can always ask Will whether or not that would work, 'cause since they have a lot of experience with her.
I think you're right
Otherwise,
about that.
we could. All right, listen. Before you don't freak out about the offer, I'm gonna say Lamorna, but it's just for pretend. But what if we offered them a second unicorn horn for an audience?
I never!
Right, like I said, this is pretend. We're not actually going to offer anybody a horn, because that's
Yeah.
like mutilation. That's basically like declawing a cat. You know, you don't want to do that kind of stuff.
Are you
Yeah, no,
asking me to remove the horn from my own head?
No,
not
again,
asking
literally,
anything.
like I said, literally just pretending.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
saying
not.
that I would tell someone that I would give them a horse so that they'd be my friend, and then we'd go inside and beat them up.
So what you're saying is that you want to lie to people?
We can't really
Awesome.
do that here.
No, I'm just gonna fail to follow through with the promise, you know?
I'm learning a lot here today.
I don't know, Vice, you're a pretty good liar. You think you could pull it off?
Drugs, maybe. There's only really one way to find out.
Well, we can try. Should I leave the Book of Bad Blood here? I mean, it seems pretty safe if they can't come in here.
Just to double check, Lamorna, has Pamferdam ever been, like, here specifically? Have they ever been able to find a lake?
They've been able to find the lake, yes. Have they been able to enter the lake? No.
Oh, okay.
For
okay.
my defenses, here at this place are foolproof. And before they can finish saying foolproof, you see a shadow emerge from the brush that rushes towards Lamorna. Leaping into the air, you see a hooded figure, 2 daggers out, that sinks their daggers into the back haunch of this unicorn. And the unicorn rears up and screams in, like, if you've ever heard a horse scream or like a rabbit scream where it's just like, oh God, like that animal should not be making that noise. Yeah, it's just this unicorn just like, and then they just disappear. They just simply vanish. And the individual with their knives in the cloak looks at the spot where the unicorn was, and you just hear a, I didn't know they could do that.
Pam's just gonna yeet a dart at the person.
Okay. Yeah, roll for initiative.
X.
I'm fucking sprinting towards that.
Magic murder!
Lowry rolled a 4.
15.
Okay.
24.
Hold on, let me get my tracker up. Ow.
I'm gonna fucking kill this guy.
Just pictured like 4 people just pulling guns out immediately.
I got my guns right here.
Okay, so is Clout, what was your initiative?
15.
Danae, Vice,
24.
Lowry,
4.
and Pam.
19.
Okay, this guy. Okay, sounds good. And then one of my favorite things about Excel, sort range, Z to A. Okay, so Vice, you are at the top of the round.
I believe it's just like you see Vice go to a sleeve and pull a zipper back to reveal the amethyst arm, and he is pointing 2 fingers at this assailant. There is a thoom of power as something appears in his hand. He's going to use his psychic blades as a ranged weapon. Bonus action to use steady aim.
Sure.
23 to hit.
A 23 will hit.
This duder takes 10 points of psychic damage, and I get sneak attack off this for 8 points of sneak attack damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
And I believe when the smoke clears, Pam recognizes that Vice is holding a firearm in his hand.
Where'd you get the gun?
There's a bit of surprise. I don't actually know.
Hidden.
Okay. And Vice, as you do this, this individual takes the blast, and you can actually see now that their hood kind of pops back a little bit. And it's strange, like they were wearing, it looked like just like a standard robber's hood, but now that you've like blasted them and can get a clear picture, it's like a weird conical hood almost, and you can see a toothy smile, or what was once a toothy smile kind of poking from under, now is more of a just like, oh God, a realization that they're about to get fucked. As you recognize this as a on the shorter end of a half-orc. Next up, Pam.
All right. Pam's panic move was to throw an object out of their hand and shout,
Stop!
and as those words come out, they kind of echo and ripple across the waves, and the small stone accelerates rapidly and like disappears from sight, and the enemy needs to make a dexterity saving throw as it catapults towards them.
That's a natural 1.
Okay.
It's very rare that catapult actually lands. That rock hits them for 13 bludgeoning damage.
Okay. Sounds good.
And then Pam's just going to push off of Clout's back and pray that whatever Clout is standing behind is not actually a 30-foot deep section and falls into the water so that Clout can be mobile.
Okay, sounds good. Then just let me...
Out of curiosity, is Pam in quote-unquote waist-high water, or did Pam aim poorly?
Pam will be in waist-high water. That's fine. Okay, ba-ba. And this individual looks at the lot of you, and seeing as how you have already dealt a sizable amount of damage, you see them just like 30 steps back from where you are, and just, look, I'm not gonna lie, not here for you guys. Didn't know unicorns could teleport. Thought it was gonna be easy. Let's just let bygones be bygones, huh? Like, you really don't, like, I don't want to mess with me, is what you don't want to do. You seem like you're gearing up for something, like, you know, like this place, reciprocity, all that. Just letting you know, I will walk away quietly.
Clout is charging like a bull, just like horns down, just.
Okay, they are going to, Clout, if you're running towards, you see them just like, okay, and they pull out a potion from their belt.
Uh-huh.
Pop it.
Mm-hmm.
You see them chug, and as they chug the contents of this potion, you watch as they, like, the opacity goes from 100 to 80 to 50 to 30 to they are no longer there. And then, Clout, you hear spleesh, 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 as you see boots leaving towards the shore that are making, like, footprints and footsteps into the water.
My turn?
It is now indeed your turn.
I can see his boots moving.
Yes, he has.
I can see the
reached
splooshin.
the shore.
I'm going to cast Entangle in a 20-foot square around those splooshes.
Okay.
And he needs to make a strength saving throw.
Yeah, get him.
It does not specify I need to see him. It just says a creature in the area.
Okay, well, a strength saving throw from this individual grants him a 9.
That's not going to make it. He's restrained.
Okay.
Woo! Vines come up out of the water. Probably like even seaweed, just like pond scum. Just like...
And they are wrapping over an invisible form.
Yep.
And you just hear, like, a mumble, just, I didn't know they could do that either.
Listen, pal, we got a few questions for you.
No soy inglés.
That would be fun, but let me see. Look, again, I could just go. I can just leave.
Pam hoists another rock.
Clout
Lowry.
would like to. Okay,
Oh.
go on.
Lowry, there is an invisible man who stabbed a unicorn who's completely wrapped up in vines.
How far away from us is he?
He had moved 30 feet back from where you are. So if you all had not continued to approach the unicorn after reaching the initial 60 feet, they would be 90 feet away from where you are.
Lowry's hands clench at her sides, and her hat dips down a little bit as she activates her symbiotic entity. And when she looks back up, her eyes are glowing white. And she moves the 30 feet to this person, which will then put them within
60.
10, within 60?
Yep.
Okay.
Because again, you were
He was
90 feet away.
I was 90 feet away? Okay. All right, then I can't do what I wanted to do.
Would you like to retract any of your previous?
Nope,
Action.
she's still going to move towards them. But she looks fucking dope.
Huh.
You really should have run when you had the chance.
That's what I was trying to do. Next up, Vice. Invisible
name.
entangled man. Lowry, eyes glowing after like doing the hat dip, walking forward.
Oh, wait. I think I can still hex him, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
I can still hex him. So yeah, I'm going to hex him, and I always forget that I get to give, I get to choose one ability when I cast this to give disadvantage on ability checks.
Okay.
So
Do you
let's
have to
if I use-
see the target?
Do I have to see the target? Frick, I do have to see the target. But since I saw him and I know where he currently is, can we count that as seeing? Because he is wrapped in the vinies.
I will say yes. You know exactly where this individual is. So for the purpose
Yes.
of the roleplay, yes.
Yeah. So let's do. They were using daggers, so I'm gonna say dexterity.
Okay.
Disadvantage on dexterity checks.
And you just hear a as the hex takes place. Next up, Vice.
I'm going to do some funny shit. Bonus action to dash 30 feet. Move
Okay.
another 30 feet. That gives me 30 to play around with, right? Because he's 90 away.
Yes, he was 90, so you'd be 30 if you bonus action and then move.
Sorry, I'm just looking through what I can do. No, it's 15 feet. That'd be funny as fuck, though. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a pot shot at him.
Okay, yeah, roll with disadvantage because he is invisible,
Yeah.
but he's restrained.
14?
A 14. Checking real quick. 14 hits.
Hell yeah. 5 points of psychic damage, no sneak attack, because I didn't... wait, he's restrained. Does that even it out? No, never mind. Yeah, 9 points of psychic damage.
9? Okay. There is a... and you see that the vines that are holding onto this invisible form, or I think with the potion of invisibility, once they take damage... Boo. Doing a quick... checky. Yeah, effect only ends if you attack or cast a spell. So you hear a... and then you see the vines like that are grasping onto him take a little bit more weight.
Ooh. Oh no. Oopsie doodles.
Why, oopsie?
I imagine there's like the vines starting to trickle blood into the water.
Yeah, there is a little bit of like on the shoreline where these vines had gotten. There is like a pool of crimson at their base.
Not what I intended, actually.
Oh my god, you guys are badasses.
Is it possible to save his life with a healing word?
If you would like to use a healing word for this, I will say yes.
Clout keeps on running, just like fuck, 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 pineapple!
Okay. And you hear an invisible...
Oh, good, I get to do it again.
Not if I get there first. There's just a steady pace from Lowry moving forward.
Listen here, fucknuts. These guys are gonna kill you if you don't start talking.
I can just leave right now. You know the fact that I can be out of your hair. Oh my god, this hurts so bad. I can be out of your hair like real fast, just like super quick.
Yeah, okay, but
And we
first...
just tried to stab a unicorn, but I feel really bad for this guy as a player.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Oh my god. Like I've been here for like the last 10 days, just like trying to figure out what to do. Trying to figure it out. I've been eating those weird talking mushrooms, and like, you know, I haven't been saying
Okay,
shit.
you know what? You know what? Stop talking for a second.
I think if I do, I'll die again.
He's been eating what?
It's like stuff I found around the way.
Can you explain to me why you came across a unicorn and your first thought was to stab it?
Roll a persuasion check.
Can I argue that Clout should get advantage on this because there's currently a scary mushroom lady glowing and walking
You
towards
guys
this guy?
also did just rock him and then bring him back to life and be like, all right, we got a few questions.
Oh my god. It's the
Died.
exact opposite of what our vibe is. Okay,
Lowry can help intimidate too, okay?
persuasion with advantage.
Yeah,
Let's
persuasion
go.
or intimidate, honestly.
That's a 23, my friend.
All right. Look, it wasn't my first thought, okay? Like, yeah, obviously. But it's not like this is the first time I've seen it again. I've been here for a hot little minute. I've been wondering how to get past that weird barrier thing, and then I saw your friend, and he was carving a horn, and then you put it on, like, a knife on a bear, and then y'all walked forward, and I just thought, oh, this can't be that easy, can it? And so I tried it, and then I was able to, and then, again, it wasn't my first thought. It was like...
Slow down, slow down. He's gonna walk over to him, just sort of like grab the vines that are holding him up, and sort of prop him back, and he says, breathe for a second, all right?
Punch him in the throat.
Now, calmly, why did you want to kill a unicorn?
I didn't really care about killing it so much as I just wanted its horn.
Right. To sell to the hags?
What? No. I hate those guys.
Why do you want the unicorn horn?
Does it really matter at this point? I mean, I just kind of wanted it. It was
Click,
for a
click
thing.
from 30 feet away.
Okay. Do you have any money?
Buddy, I'm asking the questions here.
Yeah, and like, I'll definitely sell you the information.
The chink chink from Vice as he pulls out a coin purse.
At this point, I think we're selling you your life.
But like, what if I wake up most mornings and it doesn't matter? What if none of this matters? What if I've been here for too long? You know, what if we've all been here for too long? If you have
Yeah, what if you got shot again, though?
Then
As
I'd be
Pam is
dead.
like wading through shoulder deep water.
Then I wouldn't have to deal with these questions, and I certainly would not have to worry.
Well, on the bright side, you have a couple of healers
Actually-
here, so you can get shot
Yeah,
a
but,
couple
like-
more times then.
Yeah, but like getting shot is like the least of my worries compared to what Zealot can do. So,
Sorry, who's Zealot?
he's kind of my boss. He's kind of a fuckhead. He's a super powerful wizard. Like, you don't want to be on his bad side. So, like, if you kill me, like, you gotta watch out for him. You gotta watch out for Warduke. You gotta watch out for Zargosh.
Listen, friend, we didn't get your name.
My name?
Yeah, your name.
Just call me Zed.
Well, all right, Zed. Vice, by the way, as someone who oftentimes takes on money for unsavory jobs, I can commiserate your position. If you were to go looking for some... Let's just say I'm giving this information for you as an exchange. If you're looking for some sweets for the sweet, he's going to say in Thieves' Cant, which means gold.
Okay.
There is a cave nearby full of it.
If he was visible, his eyebrow would cock. Just, yeah, but is this gonna, look, telling me about a cave full of gold right now, when you're about to kill me, a little fucked.
I mean, if you give us the information we need, we'll let you go off on your merry fucking way.
See, you are speaking the right language, but your friends are awful scary.
Well, I'm ready for a heal whenever you pull the trigger, Vice, just letting you know.
I think I have a
There-
few broken ribs.
There is
What's-
a red contract that comes from Lowry's hand.
Oh dear.
Oh,
What the fuck's that?
As that appears, Clout leans down, puts a hand on his back, and says, "Listen, it's not like we want to kill you or anything. We're just looking for some information. All right?"
We will let you leave here, and you can go on your merry way to collect that gold. But if you breathe a word of meeting us, or anything that happened here, or even how to get into this place, your life will be forfeit, and the laws of the Feywild will not apply.
Yeah, I'm not signing that. Not doing it.
All right, guess you're going in the lake.
Hey, whoa. Honor amongst thieves, honor amongst thieves.
I'm not a thief.
No, he is, though.
I can't speak for them about my honor.
Look, hey, you want this information or not?
Do we?
I don't even know what we're doing right now, except for just trying to beat up someone who tried to murder a unicorn.
And I'm trying to apologize for a lot of things. And just kind of be on my way about it, okay? Like,
You can apologize with your pen.
You couldn't believe it.
Need a pen, I got one.
look, I'm just a birthday boy. It's my birthday.
Yeah, and I'm 2 weeks from retirement, but I don't care.
Lowry will let him go, but there's conditions.
Look, I promise I will not attack that unicorn again.
Or enter the sanctuary ever.
I will not enter the sanctuary, no.
That does not stop him from telling people how to get in here.
And then
The children won't have a safe place to run to.
I don't give a shit about the kids.
Wait, what? We just cut his tongue off. They can't tell anybody anything. Well, psychic magic. Never mind.
A little bleak even for me.
Like, look,
You don't need magic to write something down.
I don't give a
Okay,
shit about
tongues,
the
fingers,
kids.
lobotomize.
I don't
If
give
we
a
don't
shit.
want to do that.
Don't care about the kids. At this point, I don't care about the unicorn anymore. You said there's a cave full of gold? I'll do that. That sounds like an easier job. Okay? I will.
I don't know, Lowry. This might be a fate worse than death sort of situation. What do you think?
I think that they'll come back.
Or send someone else.
They just tried to kill someone in front of a kid.
You ever been to the big city? People die in front of kids all the time.
Hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't mean that we're okay with it, dick.
Not okay with adding any additional trauma to kids, so
So don't kill a man in front of the child that you have with you.
Sloan, honey, cover your eyes and ears.
No, I want to say this. This looks cool.
Sloan, honey, cover your eyes, but leave a little
yeah,
crack.
Sloan, it sounds cool, honestly, but trust me from experience, it is gonna get stuck in your head for a long time.
No, like, I've never seen anything like this before. Like, normally when any of us kids are in danger, like, we just disappear in a puff of smoke and appear somewhere else on thither. So, like, this is gnarly.
I can see that they're desensitized already.
All right, look at the flowers.
I want to discuss this out of character real quick.
Yes.
What are we gonna do with this guy?
Lucy,
All right.
or not Lucy, Lowry's trying to intimidate him into signing her contract.
Yeah, Pam's
Because the
down for
contract is not to protect anyone here, it is to protect him from her.
So when I said to go to the cave, that gold is cursed.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes to grab it, something bad's gonna happen to him regardless.
Yeah.
And Pam probably will kill this person, so someone else should make a decision.
He should probably sign our contract and leave.
Yeah.
And go after that cursed gold.
All right. Then we should probably explain to him that the contract is like
Non-negotiable.
what exactly the contract means.
Okay, in character, Lowry will say,
You might think that you're getting the short end of the stick with this, but this isn't for you. Or no, this isn't for me. This is to protect you from me.
and with that, the glowing will stop, and there is just an intense but calm look in her eyes.
Lowry, roll me an Arcana check.
Okay.
Arcana check. Arcana?
Arcana.
10.
A 10.
I roll so well on Arcana with that plus 0.
I would say roll with advantage.
Okay.
11.
13.
A 13. Okay. So I'll say with a 13. Lowry, as you were saying this, and the rest of you, as you are hearing this, you can't tell if it's the symbiote or if there's something deeper that is coming from inside of Lowry at this moment. But when she is assuring Zarak/Zed that they should sign this contract, it's almost as if the innate magics of this plane are adding inflection, that they are contributing in a way that only an individual who is capable of creating Fey-like contracts is capable of delivering. Clout, you've heard an intonation similar to this before when you were at the Noodle Hut.
Yeah, I think his hand subconsciously comes up to his face.
And you see there is on this contract just an X at the bottom. And as this contract gets signed by an invisible hand, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon! And we're back! Hello, everybody! Much against their better judgment, the individual known as Zed has signed on to this glowing red-ish contract. You've told them that there is a heaping helping of gold up for his grabbies. Was there any other information that you were wanting to get from them?
By the by, the man in the cave is blind, so that should be pretty easy for you, in and out quick.
Okay. Yep. Zed just sounds good.
Did they say why the wizard sent them?
The unicorn horn.
They wanted the unicorn horn.
And do they know for what?
They say that their group the self-proclaimed. Let me see here. The self-proclaimed League of Malevolence has been at war with a bunch of goody two-shoes for quite some time. And one of them, Kellick's arch nemesis, which is Ringlerun, has also been frozen in place inside of the palace, and Kellick believes that if they were to touch Ringlerun with the unicorn's horn, the Ringlerun would then become unfrozen, and they'd be able to kick the shit out of this wizard in a spirit Halloween parking lot without him being able to get like any help from his friends.
So your wizard leader just misses his wizard boyfriend.
They're like not together. There's no pining.
It's like an enemies to lovers thing, right?
Also, I got confused in the terminology. Are you the goody two-shoes or the League of Malevolence?
I'm part of the league.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty much on thin ice, then.
Yeah, that's why I was saying earlier, before you told me about all the gold, that, you know.
Listen, buddy, I know what it's like to be in a situation that you don't like. It sounds like you're not very happy with these guys. Like, it's not too late to get out.
I think it kind of is, though. Because I don't know if you're familiar with being in this demi-plane. I don't really have a way of getting out. And then when I do get out, all of my work contacts, League of Malevolence. It's not really like I don't have like a fresh start unless I have a cave full of gold.
Well,
You know what, bud? You get that cave full of gold, and we'll figure out the getting out of here part.
oh, I know exactly how to get out.
Figure
There's
out
an-
how to tell you.
No, should I tell
No.
them? Okay.
No, yes. Yes.
I don't care what you do anymore. The contract's binding whether he's on this plane or another one.
Oof. Good luck. Well, when you get that cave full of gold, come find me, I guess. We'll hammer out the details then.
Leave that blind guy alone.
He's blind.
I just want the gold.
Right.
I don't give a shit if he's blind.
Cool. Just don't hurt him. And if you do, I'll find out.
Okay. And again, he's been invisible this entire time. So I'm just gonna
Clout looks at Lowry and says, "You want to do the thing,
What thing?
like the tooth thing?"
Yeah, bite him.
I have plenty of teeth. I don't need any more, but thank you.
She'll toss Clout a tooth.
Find a pocket. If I need to find you, I'll contact you through that. Have a great day.
And she's gonna walk back towards the brazier to relight it and call back the unicorn once he's gone.
Okay. Yeah.
Clout will find a home. We'll find a home for that tooth.
Okay. He takes the tooth and just like looks at your group, invisibly so, and then just says, "Smell you later." Like you just see like brush move aside.
Gary Oaks, son of a bitch.
Was he like supposed to be scary or something? Because you guys smoked him.
Well, there were 4 of us and 1 of him.
I'm sure there are people.
They
who
were
think
full
he's
of a lot of
scary.
confidence for someone who was definitely gonna die if they kept talking.
Well, there comes a point where people don't have much to lose.
Wait, you have 2 of them now?
Yeah. Huh.
Why do you have it? Where they come from? Is that a wheel lock?
Can I say one?
No.
No.
And you just see Sloane like cross her arms, just
For your benefit, media, they're like Navy Colts.
Navy Colts, like
revolvers.
modern weapons?
Yeah.
They are modern weapons?
Yeah.
post a picture and questions for the courts.
Sure. But on one of the guns is a relief of a laughing demon head. And the barrel is like this darkened red.
Oh, you're talking about the 1800s one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm picturing like a Colt 45 automatic, and I'm like,
No,
what?
no. Like the Navy
What?
Colt, like the revolver with the breech action
Oh,
load.
so
Oh, okay. This isn't a wheel lock. This is a percussion lock type firearm. You can see right here. This is the dog right here and the cock, and then right here's the cap. And the... But where'd they come from? I didn't see you have it earlier.
I am not sure myself. I just thought I need to hit that guy from all the way over here and pointed.
Yeah, just watch where you're pointing at, though. There's a kid around here, and
He's going to spin them and then, like, pretend holster them, and then they disappear.
Out of character, would these guns hold any significance to Clout? Or was that after his time?
When did the circus, when did Pops shoot himself?
That's a good question.
And also, like, a really loaded way of saying that.
Sorry. When did Vice first get these? I think Clout would have still been around. It was the events following that, like, the circus disbanded.
Right, okay. So Clout doesn't have... what's Clout's memory situation looking like as far as Vice, and would this have any effect on that?
Okay. For the purpose of everyone at home who does not have access
Mm-hmm.
to this to our headcanons and to our side conversations,
Yes.
so Vice would have had Pistol while knowing Clout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
How, like, with that in mind, Clout seeing this, it is a strange piece of machinery.
Mm-hmm.
It is a unique tool.
Okay.
But as far as any significance goes, it's almost more frustrating to you that there feels to be almost a void of significance.
All right.
Not in that it doesn't mean anything, but looking at it, it's like there's a feeling in your stomach where you know it can't mean anything.
Okay. After the cut, I think we'll figure out the order of events, and we'll figure it out.
Sounds good.
you had those things before. Can you just think about weapons and make them appear?
And I was a lad. This was a memento from my adoptive father. I took it with me for a very long time, modified it myself, and subsequently lost it. Don't remember writing this, though, on it. And at the bottom of the, the grip, there in silvery penmanship is the word opus. But yes, these have gone through many iterations, actually.
Can you manifest just the guns, or can you make other things appear, like a spear or something?
I used to be able to do that.
I mean, used to. Did you forget how?
Not so much as... I guess you could say I lost my mojo as well.
He can't do it if anybody's watching.
There's a high five ready. Wait a minute.
And you see Sloane just self high five.
Ooh, you. I guess the students become the master now.
What a
That is
little
a pretty
stinker.
interesting thing.
Sorry, Pam,
You
what
said
was
it was a keepsake? Who gave it to you?
that? Memento from
A
my adoptive
memento.
father.
Did your father make those, or did they buy them? I know I'm asking a lot of questions. I just haven't seen like a percussion cap anywhere outside of my city before. That's like some pretty advanced stuff.
I feel like, well, the percussion cap was my idea. This was more akin to a flintlock way back when. But
Yeah?
I
What'd you do
don't
to
know.
replace the dog, though?
Starts expounding the process in which he decided to retingle. Well, I took the original barrel and I put a new stock on it. The actual like firing system itself was kind of hard to design, but I actually got it in the end.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's a lot more efficient of a tool than a wheel lock, because like I see that you replaced the Snapchat mount right here with.
And we just kind of ramble about the guy for a bit.
Yeah, and Sloane, who is currently on the back of Juniper still, is just like rolling her eyes and like, come on, girl. And her and Juniper will turn and go off towards Clout and Lowry.
Clout's gonna catch up with Lowry and say, "Yeah, I don't think that unicorn's coming back. You okay?"
I want to try and get them back. I think I can help heal them.
All right. Let's go light the brazier then. That might be the only way.
She's already walking up towards it with her, what's it called? Tinderbox.
Tinderbox?
Yeah.
Tinderbox. Yeah.
I
so-
wanted to say flint box, and I was like, that's not right. I know that's not right.
So
Process.
All right, so you are able to spark this, no problem. We're not even going to have you roll for it. And after about a minute, behind you, the mist just seems to like clear away, and you hear, "Son of a bee sting, that hurt." And you look, and there's still like the two like there's still like a freshy looking puncture wound, and the unicorn turns and like puts its horn against its own flank, and you see the horn begins to radiate, and the wound closes. He was a little Dickens, wasn't he?
He won't be able to come back.
Good.
Well, I mean, he can, but his life will be forfeit.
I should say so. Comes back, I'll be sure to be on the lookout for him this time. No,
Do you need any more healing?
no, I'm fine. I'm fine. The water's here actually very good for healing. If you have any like curses about you, or you're feeling tired, or anything of the sort, really, you just have to take a dip, take a little swim around.
We have your permission to do so.
Yes, of course.
Disrobing.
He like holds up his hand so that he can't see Vice. If we say, I don't know, take some with us, would it still retain its healing properties?
No, it will not. It's only
Boy,
here,
magic
only in
world's in
this
here.
place.
Well, what about Grandpa Tree?
Again, I'm afraid there's not much that can actually be done for Grandfather Tree other than rid Scabatha of this place. Or
What
rid
if-
this place of Scabatha.
Sure, but what if we got Grandfather Tree into this water?
What if Grandfather Tree suddenly had a horn like a unicorn?
Then he would be able to approach my pool. Although I am thinking of changing up the security protocol a little bit. I thought I was rather clever.
Yeah, you might want to change your password. Seems like you've had a data breach.
Yes, I'll do. You must look like a unicorn, and then I'll put a 1 at the end, and that should be secure enough.
That's plenty. Based on what, because I did a medicine check on Grandfather Oak. Was it Grandfather Oak?
Let me check.
That might have been it.
I did a medicine check on them. Do I think that if I go and heal them, that we could potentially help them limp here?
It was Grandfather Tree. From what
Grandfather Tree, okay.
From what you are able to remember, grandfather tree is basically stuck where they are. They do not have the capacity or ability to move past where they are, as the rot that exists in them is like going into the root system at this point. So in
Okay.
order to maintain stability, they cannot be moved from where they are.
I don't think we'll be able to get them here, unfortunately.
I do have an idea towards one of, well, getting in good with Scabatha. Well, not Scabatha. Yes, Scabatha? No.
Scabatha Nightshade, the lady who is in control of this place?
Yes.
Granny Nightshade. That
I have-
be the one.
I have an idea on how to get in good with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could just say I'm an emissary looking to recruit her.
From who?
For what?
Intergalactic war spanning the multiverse.
That a thing?
It's
What's
an
that, Ben?
awfully creative excuse.
Yes, sure. Excuse.
Sell us your pitch, you know. Let's hear it and see if it kind of checks out, you know. Because I can say I can sell someone a sponge, but it doesn't mean the seller's gonna be good.
Good day and greetings to you, Granny Nightshade. My name is Vice. I am the Grand Emissary for the Mad Pharaoh, the second son, Bolas. I'm here to inspect your grounds and see if you are fit to join our ranks.
What's a multiverse?
Who's Bolas?
Vice is just quietly soaking.
Right. And do you think that'll work?
Well, I do have the title of Grand Emissary, so she does have to see me. Titles carry very far here, apparently.
Do you have like paperwork or some sort of like ring or something that like verifies this?
He flicks his horn.
Pokes their nose.
I don't.
Don't worry about it.
I mean, we're part of a team, so you know, being educated on the plan would be beneficial for the rest of us.
Don't
Who's
have
to
any-
say that your title is gonna hold any water here?
I have many titles. I could use some of those.
We always have the Witchlight Queen, Monarch, whatever that is as well.
That one might be more locally recognized.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still have the crown with you, right?
It's probably still on her hat. Just
Okay.
it looks like a hat
Yeah,
brim
yeah, yeah.
with butterflies on it.
Yep.
Yeah, because I don't deal with a lot of royals outside of Mulheran, but I'm just assuming that like some sort of like proof of noble lineage or whatever is a good thing to back up when claiming to be someone important.
Right.
Would he have given me anything, Simon?
Like a cool ring or like a certificate of emissariness.
Would his horn be enough proof?
Like if you flick it just right, does it like hologram out like this is official?
Um,
Or it rings at a certain frequency?
Tuning fork horns.
Rings true.
roll a D100 for me.
Yes, sir. Shake it up, shake it up, da, da. 71.
71. So what he would have sent you with is not a... It's not like a catch-all. It was specifically for one individual in particular. The one individual in question, your benefactor, had told you to give to them effectively a small crest, a small emblem that is the twin crowned horns. And then, and the most fascinating thing is that there is a small piece of metal that floats ever so between the two of them. You were informed to give this specifically to its intended recipient.
But I could use that as some sort of proof, right?
You could. What the ramifications of that would be, entirely up to you. Or, I guess, entirely up to the game, rather.
Vice flips over to his belly, clambers out of the water, reaches into his coat, and he pulls out a signet ring. Or how about Lord Ulysses Growlhund, Lord of Waterdeep?
What's the name of the person in the cave called you, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, so between your noble ring there and Pam and Lowry's crown, the two of you can have a lot easier time persuading. And then Clout and I can hide out of sight, when you two are doing.
Could use a herald.
Are you good?
I don't know if I want him in there alone.
Who?
Vice.
Well, Lowry can go too, cause they're the monarch, the monarch.
Right? We should just do the royal band thing again. That way we all have eyes on things going on in there.
Well, I'm not really good at the music stuff, but I can.
While Lowry and I are talking to, you two can set about trying to free the children.
Yeah, not that kind of band, Pam.
Do we still want one of us to be someone that she'd forget when she wakes up?
Well, yeah, I guess if we do like a noble dinner, like the two of you stay overnight as like dignitaries, but then you'd have an opportunity to be there when she wakes up. And then while the two of you are like entertaining them with stories of, I don't know, stuff that fancy people talk about, and then me and Clout can start sneaking around the building. That actually kind of sounds like a good idea.
I'm not the best at stealth, but this thing can make me invisible. It takes out the veal.
Pamferdam pulls out a rock solid cupcake. Wait, did we still have that? Did we use that? No, we still have that.
I think we
Check
still
my
have the
inventory.
cupcake.
Inventory.
I think we do have the.
I think
Yep,
you
I do
still,
still have
yeah,
it.
you
Okay.
still have it.
So,
Pamferdam
for
is a rock
I feel
for its
as someone-
consistency,
As someone who took cupcake damage, I'd remember if we used the cupcake.
I was going to say,
I have a
for,
grudge against that cupcake.
for the consistency of this cupcake, those like buttery sugar cookies you can get at like Safeway or Albertsons around the holidays that are just like, it's basically just butter with frosting on top, and they will stay soft indefinitely. That's kind of what this cupcake is like.
This thing's. I got this from the contest, and I think that's gonna buy me about an hour of invisibility if I eat this thing.
Yeah, that's about as much as I've got too.
Keep in contact with a few of you for a bit, but after 5 hours maximum, I'll lose it.
So you'll be able to hear us all the way up until.
Oh, you'll
our
be able to speak
spells
with me as
end,
well.
and so we can let you know that we're visible, and if poop hits the fan.
Clout touches his throat and his mouth moves, and you hear next to your ear, I can communicate with you as long as you're within 120 feet.
Do you
As
have to
long
see
as
us for
you're-
that one?
If you have one of my teeth on you, I can communicate with you for up to 10 miles. Telepathically. It's one way, though.
Well, aren't we all just a bunch of telecommunication poles?
I don't know how to do any of that, but so long as we can stay in communication, I like the idea that we have multiple ways of doing it.
For me, it'd be about 7 hours maximum, but I can speak to 2 of you and you can respond back. 1 mile limit.
I can make a bunch of words glow in the sky, but that's not really sneaky.
That's more of a shit hit the fan situation.
Okay. So then, should we just head there?
I
Is
think
there
we've
anything
got...
stopping us from starting this plan, or should we like go back and get the kids? Do we have to have the kids involved in this?
Well, from what I remember, young William is taking a look at when Scabatha falls asleep.
Mm-hmm.
You'd best to get that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be good to know. Otherwise, we should probably keep as many of them in the dark as we can.
And as you
I
say
sup-
this, Sloane,
yeah.
who has been very quiet
Mm-hmm.
this whole time, you look over, and again, the unicorn was there. Your owl bear was here. The unicorn and the owl bear is like crowing up at the unicorn, and the unicorn's like eyes are closed and nodding, and they seem to be having their own side conversation. And you just see Sloane skipping rocks across the water. And after they skip about twice, you see her like bring up her hand with 2 fingers and then just, and like she'll make like a firing motion with it, and then the rock will sink. And you see her like blow on her fingers and then like do it again.
Less people we involve, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Clout nods. Yeah, I think the 2 of you go in there and keep in contact with us. We'll be on the outside. If you need backup or anything done, we can go invisible and get it.
And if Will happens to find anything else helpful for us, you know, we'll alter the plan. Otherwise, I think this is probably the best one we've got so far.
Yep. And full disclosure, if all this goes to shit and I'm still on the outside, I'm gonna go find a Jabberwocky and burn the place to the ground.
Well, hopefully, I can manage to find a good escape route for the kids by then. But yeah, I think doing some amount of damage would be better than running away.
Lone Love. Is there a secret way that William uses to get into and out of the city, as it were?
And Sloane like stops, like she like skips, and you see her point, and then you look, and she like drops her arm down, and she says, "I mean, not really, as far as like a secret way goes that I know of, anyways. But like, he says he's really good at opening doors."
Ah, okay. Well, you're going to need this then. By now, Vice has changed back, and he's going to hand Pam his set of thieves' tools.
Okay, thanks.
Pam will add it to their collection of toolkits.
I can help make you better at stuff.
Yeah, I have like pretty good hands, but I've never really tried to break into a lock before, so I probably need the help.
Think about it as fixing it, but in the other direction.
Mm-hmm.
I can work with that.
I sometimes forget to do that kind of stuff, so I'm just letting you know now.
I'll make sure to ask for guidance and/or inspiration when the time comes.
Oh yeah, so nice eulogy before we get eviscerated.
So I suppose we should probably just take Sloane back to the tree and hang out until Will comes back from their recon.
Sounds
Is
like a
there
plan.
anything else we want to ask the unicorn before we leave?
Honestly, she's starting to kind of bum me out.
Who is the unicorn?
Yeah.
I'm good to go back to the tree whenever, so If we have anything else to wrap up, we can. Sloan, did you want to do anything while we were out?
And Sloan just like shakes her head. No, she's good.
All right. Are you cool with going home in a minute? Like, are you cool with that?
She shrugs. She doesn't seem to like her job today was to take you all to Wayward Pool. She's accomplished that job.
Youthful indifference is really easy to work with. They seem to be pretty alright with whatever.
Okay, so heading back to Little Oak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the plan.
On the way back, Clout just kind of out of nowhere. You think that Zed guy is gonna stay out of trouble?
No.
And no, I'm pretty sure that they're part of a guild of being mean, so...
Well, I mean, do you think he's gonna follow the contract?
He has to.
Yeah, otherwise we'll know, right, Lowry?
I will.
Yeah, okay, yeah, alright.
All right. Guess we gotta head back to the tree.
Okay. So by this point, you've spent the majority of the day heading towards Wayward Pool, coming back. It's getting closer to evening, and when you arrive, Will is not there. Will, having been told that they should stake out Scabbath's place, are in the process of doing so. The rest of the kids are here. Star is here as well, and it seems that there has been progress on the food wizardry that you had left Bobby with last you had arrived. It looks like, again, macaroni and cheese is on the menu for this evening. However, there are spices that have been added to the macaroni and cheese this time around, including a little bit of paprika to kind of give it just like a little bit of extra flavor. And with the help of the orc, the young girl Zenor, there's a little bit of spice that has been put into this macaroni and cheese as well. And it seems like as far as flavor profile goes, it is much better than they had initially thought.
Clout's gonna go find Squirt.
Look who came crawling back. Do you
Listen,
have
buddy,
any
you're gonna have to-
boggle oil?
You're gonna have to change your attitude if you want any help.
Okay.
Oh, is this the oil can you were talking about?
Oh, looks like you brought
Gods.
your friends.
Hi!
Hello, I'm Squirt.
Call you something other than that?
You can call me whatever you like if you give me some boggle oil. I need slippery boggle oil, not the sticky boggle oil.
Right.
I have a lot of different lubricants and stuff I can offer, but like, I don't know if I have that in specific.
I will vomit if I have anything other than boggle oil. I was designed for one purpose and one purpose only. You start mixing oils, you don't want to start mixing oils.
What kind of can are you?
I'm an oil can. A boggle oil can. A slippery boggle oil can.
Cool.
Nice.
He's gonna turn and look at the rest of the group. Anybody got any ideas for a nickname for old boggle oil can here?
Squirt too hard for you to remember?
Squirt's a good name.
Lowry
That's what
actually
they
didn't.
identify as.
Lowry didn't come inside. She's gonna stay outside and go read her book in a tree or something.
Is it really important for us to call you Squirt?
I mean, that is my name. If you want to give me a kitschy nickname, you can as well. But I'm just letting you know, the dwarves who made me and the kids all called me Squirt. I won't be offended if you change my name, though. I understand certain monikers are hard. I knew an animated sponge once whose name was Moist. People hated that guy.
And you know what? I'm extricating myself from this conversation.
I always knew a magic candle known as Tasod.
Yeah? What was
I
that?
don't know
What
if
were
that
they
word
like?
bothers anyone, but
Wait, hold on. Ugh. That Smoker voice gives me an idea. Pam.
Yeah.
No. The like Pam, all like the cooking spray. And then
I feel
lower
like that's
himself
going to
back
be a
down.
little confusing.
Cooking spray, is that a magic spell?
I don't know what he's talking about.
It's food wizard shit.
Oh, that's what the kids have been talking about all day since he left. Is food wizard this, food wizard that. It was adorable for about 30 minutes, but I've been here for hours.
Listen, Squirt. He lowers his voice so that the kids don't hear. We're planning on going out to Loomlurch here pretty soon. We hear tell there might be boggles out there.
The oil can starts like vibrating. Are you telling me you know where to get
I also hear
oil?
I also hear you know the way to yawn.
You may have heard correctly. What's it do you?
What say you? I get you to Loomlurch. We get you some boggle oil, and then you get us to yawn.
Okay, how about this? You collect the boggle oil. You get me that slippery boggle oil. I don't go anywhere near Loomlurch. And then I'll take you to yawn.
That's what they just said.
Squirt. We got ourselves a deal.
Put her there.
Shake the lid.
He just reaches out, just sort of like grabs it between his fingers and shakes it.
Like you see the little like consternated face on this oil can just that's as close of a smile as you're getting from all Squirt until I can get me some slippery boggle oil.
Thank the gods, I thought I heard him.
Yeah, we'll make sure to get at least enough to fill you up once.
Bring as much as you want. Backups,
Yeah, we'll try.
bring backups. Enough for like 3 of me.
We'll get you the goods, man.
I knew I could count on you, kiddo. Wait, before you go, what's your name? You know mine. We just entered into a deal. It's only fair, reciprocity.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of. Did Clout give the kids his actual name?
He said humbug or humble.
He said humbug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Call me humbug, friend.
All right, humbug. You got yourself a deal.
My name is Bandersnatch Cumberbund.
All right, Bandersnatch Cumberbund. We got Bandersnatch, we got Humbug. And what are the other 2 friends that you got?
It's a Momrath and the other thing that they mentioned in the Jabberwocky poem.
Hold on.
Vorpal sword? Can
No,
Lowry
no,
be
no.
Vorpal sword?
Beware the jabber. Beware the.
The Bandersnatch.
Fermius Bandersnatch and the Momraths.
No Marath's out grabe. Did Geyer and Gimbal in the web? Hold on.
Fugu fish.
Beware the.
Swim away, Fugu Fish, swim
You
away.
guys. I have this literally memorized. You
Pam
guys are
and Cloud are both
fucking me up.
just sweating right now.
Names?
Jub Bird.
Yeah, our
Yeah,
friends Momrath and Jub Jub.
Yeah.
And is Jub the one with the hat, or is that Mumrath?
Well, that's Momrath.
That's Mumrath? Okay. I like to remember people's names, so
that's
if
very
I get
nice of you.
confused, I'll be sure to ask again. But until then, it was nice meeting you, Bandersnatch Cumberpants.
Oh, it was nice to meet you too, Squirm.
That's close enough.
Pam will head back into the house.
Fucking Pam was the one who convinced Clout to use their actual name.
Okay. And then, so you guys are eating dinner with the kids, waiting around. Lowry, you said that you were outside reading a book. Juniper is going to come up next to you, and they are just going to, like, be a big owl bear pillow for you to rest on.
Best reading buddy.
Vice had slipped away from the conversation.
Okay, yeah. And Vice, where are you going?
He's collected a bunch of like super chipped cups and plates that are basically a safety hazard to eat off of, and he's going to set them up around like the clearing. He stands in the center and just exhales really quickly, and gun comes out, fans the hammer, and shoots all of them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Looks-
Lowry, while you are trying to read your book and you just get cozy with your very large animal, you hear bam, 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 bam. Juniper, like, gets a heckin' frightened look, and you can hear, like, the, like...
Is their head like turning 180
oh, yeah,
degrees?
like trying to find the source of the noise.
It's okay. It's all right. Shh, it's okay. He's just being a big, loud, stinky man.
Pamferdam definitely jumped for cover at first, but then they remember the only person that they've seen so far with a gun is their ally, so...
Okay.
Imagine it's not so much as a bang as the sound of shattering crystal.
I like that. And at this point, Vice, after you've finished and like are done exhaling, you just hear a call. But like like Sloane, you can see is like standing just far enough away watching. Just how do you do that?
Click
Like,
the
you guys
hammer.
are weird. You guys are really crazy. Like, show up, go to the unicorn pool with you, which is like, it's okay. But then, like, you pull out, like, your, like, pointy sticks that make things explode, and then your friend turns into, like, the most beautiful horse I've ever seen. I mean, probably.
He'll walk over and rest his back against the trunk and just pat next to him.
Yeah, Sloane will come over, and she'll stand, arms crossed.
Very long time ago, I had someone who was able to give me some power. I didn't know who it was at first, and, well, it sort of manifested as this thing. Then I got to meet them. A bit of a blast, really. Some stuff happened, and I didn't think I would be able to do this again. It's nice knowing not all things that you've lost remain lost, as it were.
Sloane's head tilts back and just, adults are so boring! She will
Well, you
walk away.
see-
Okay. So, the rest of the evening, unless there are any conversations that would like to be had.
Clout will tell another story to the kids tonight.
Okay.
This time he tells a story about shooting star, and I forget, like, it was like an analogy for the get along gang, the getaway gang. It was an analogy for the getaway gang, but I forget exactly what he chose as the analogy for them. I think he's gonna go with woodland creatures this time, and if somebody tries to correct him, he says, "No, they were always woodland creatures. What are you talking about?" Except the fact that they were turned into woodland creatures by an evil witch, and Shooting Star thought that was no good, so they decided that maybe they should go beat that witch up. And so he tells a story about how Shooting Star and the woodland creatures beat up the witch and win the day. They ride a dragon into the sunset.
Roll a performance check.
Right. Performance 25.
25. This story is excellently told, and as you are in the process of orating, I imagine that like the kids are all tucked into bed and you're like sitting on a stool or something like that to tell them. You hear what sounds like it sounds like a small motor. And Star, the little Displacer Beast kitten, will just hop up onto your lap and curl in. And as you were telling this story, for all of its beats and upticks, the Displacer Beast kitten falls asleep on your lap.
And he gets to the end of the story and he says, and then they lived happily ever after. Until the next adventure. And they lived happily ever after that. And so on and so forth. And, well, they were happy. And he just kind of looks down at the kitten and he says, guess I'm stuck here. So, good night, you rascals.
All of the kids are passed out already.
Cool. He's just gonna tip his head back and fall asleep.
Just...
Zah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then throughout the evening, Pam, Vice, Lowry, anything that the three of you want to get up to.
Has Lowry come back yet?
No, she's probably just gonna sit outside and read until she gets tired, and then she'll crash outside next to our owl bear.
Vice will just take the night. I imagine there's like a veranda with like a railing that's open.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for Will.
Okay.
Pamferdam is doing something a little out of the ordinary for them, and they have laid out the entirety of their equipment and like walked through and counted everything and repacked it and then unpacked it again. The thought of going into a medieval overthrowing again has gotten them back into a different mindset as they prep for combat the next night.
Making me tired just looking at you, Pam.
I just gotta make sure everything's here, you know? It's pretty easy to think that you're ready for a mission, and then once you get there, suddenly you're out of ammo too early, and then, you know, someone gets killed, and you don't need to have that on your hands, so you just gotta make sure you do an inventory before the incursion happens.
I find in those situations, winging it is what I default to.
Alright, well then I hope that you can cover for any gaps that I have.
I hope so too.
Okay. So, first thing in the following morning, Will returns. And when he returns, your group, unless there is anything, again, that you wanted to do first thing in the morning, Lowry, you would be the first to see Will making his way. And he comes up to you, and you can tell that there is like a tired look in his eyes. And he says, I did it.
You stayed up all night?
Uh-huh.
Was it difficult?
My mouth tastes funny.
Come here.
He just approaches you.
She'll just wrap him up in a cuddle and let him fall asleep for a little while until the others wake up.
Yeah, and then he will definitely take advantage of being able to just have a quick night-night. After a couple hours, the rest of the kids start stirring. The rest of the party members start stirring as well. And Lowry, you wake Will up. And he does a big stretch. And then says, Okay, I think I'm pretty sure I know when she wakes up. Or at least like a general range.
Drink some water.
Yeah, and he will, like, entering into the building, you'll see, gets some water, and he just, like, pounds it all in one go. Sets it onto the counter. Like, dirty dish next to the sink. It's never going to be directly in the sink.
Young man.
There's a place you can go. And he approaches the table And then you see him pull out his 3 large pieces of paper that he was working on yesterday. He says, okay, if we're going to be doing this, I have an idea. It's a plan in 3 stages. First, well, wait. She wakes up early. It's like, it's just getting bright out, and she wakes up. How do all adults wake up that early?
A lot of them do.
Clout starts shaking his head, and then like when Lowry says that, he turns it to nodding.
Ugh. Being an adult sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So she gets up early, and then she starts going about her day. Other than that, I couldn't tell exactly. Like, when she was waking up, there aren't really like windows in there, but that's fine, because I have a plan. So myself, no, not myself. I come in the plan later. I'm very tired. That coffee didn't help me stay up at all. It just made my mouth taste funny and my stomach hurt a little bit. Bobby, Sloan, Zenor, and Star will creep through the woods to the west and hide just out of sight of the screaming scarecrows that are on the embankment next to the tree. Meanwhile, I'm going to sneak around to the entrance of the kitchen on the other side of the tree, because most of the doors at her house are unlocked. There are a few exceptions. For the most part, the doors are unlocked. Then, so that's the approach. That's when you all come in with a distraction. What I need from you all is to go to the goblin market and pose as travelers and maybe buy some sweets, talk to some folk, and maybe, if you can, Chucklehead, who's there, he'd be able to help set up a meeting with the hag. Maybe, I don't know. Look, Sloan was saying that you guys are good liars, and I think that counts for something. So I'm so tired. But so you get an audience with the hag, maybe, and then when you're talking to her in the meeting, because that's what adults do, and then everybody will scare the screaming scarecrows, and then once they're all up in arms, then Scabatha's tin soldiers, they'll come out running, and they'll head towards the sound of the screams, and that's when Getaway Gang will get away from there. Now, the third stage, and he pulls out the last piece of paper. The third stage is for the most important player in this whole getaway game. Me. This is when everyone's distracted. So the hag's the audience with you. The tin soldiers are out doing a thing. The scarecrows, they're screaming so loud. That's when I come in and I'll free everybody in the workshop. And then I'll go to the textile mill and I'll free everybody who's in there. And then once everyone's free, we all just run back to Little Oak. Easy peas. I was up all night thinking of this plan. And doing lookout stuff.
How could our plan operate in tandem to that?
Well, while Laura and I are speaking with with her, you two can go with the kids to help free everyone.
And then would it be you and Lowry that caused the chaos for the 10 men?
No. They'd be on distraction, talking with the hag. Bobby, Sloan, Zenor, and Star would alert the scarecrows, and then that would cause the tin soldiers to come out. So if you're looking to do a distraction, scaring scarecrows, talking with the hag, those are going to be, in my plan's eyes, the two best.
What? Well, I think it's a really good plan.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
But-
I'm the
but there's-
best.
But there's one thing that you need.
Sleep.
Yes, you need sleep. That's the first thing.
Mhm.
But after that, during the plan, what you need? Sidekicks. And I think Pam and I are just the people for the job.
Yeah.
Sidekicks. Okay.
They're like plucky minions, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Listen, I know it's a lot to think about, but you should sleep on it. Let me know how you feel about it when you wake up, all right?
Like 7 to 9 hours.
Yeah. Oof, that coffee did not help your breath. Lowry, can you get him some mint?
It's like someone thought about what strawberries might smell and taste like, but they've never actually had one, so they just made molasses really gross.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, coffee's really gross. But I think you're right. I think I do just need to sleep on it. And you see him crawl up onto the table and like curl up onto the plans that he drew and laid out, and he just passes out.
Lowry's gonna scoop him up and go put him in the bed.
Whisper, got a job for you.
Whisper glows ever brightly.
Keep an eye on Will. Make sure nothing wakes him up, all right?
And Whisper will like go over, and in the most like protective, like back and forth barrier,
Nice. What do you guys think?
Decent plan, but I don't want to involve the kids in any of it.
Yeah, do you think we
Yeah.
can accomplish our plan in the next 7 to 9 hours?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Because even though, like, Will had a good plan. I'm not gonna default the person, but they are still the youths of the nation, and I would prefer them not to be involved. Especially because I don't know whether or not the scarecrows themselves are harmful. So, like, if they're gonna like agitate the militia and the guards,
Well, from what Will is saying, they're more of a security feature of the place.
I'm
Mhm.
Can
I honestly think this is something that we can do on our own. And
We
this,
can try.
we probably even have enough time to track down this chucklehead guy at the Goblin Market.
otherwise, if Will wakes up and finds out that we already went off and did stuff, they might panic and start to do their plan without us.
That's what Whisper's here for.
Whisper.
Whisper could actually stop Will.
Whisper's just vibing back and forth over Will.
I don't think Whisper can stop Will, but he can at least make sure Will stays asleep.
He's quite tired. I don't think he'll wake up for a very long time.
Exactly. We just gotta be
Okay.
quick about it.
All right, then we are on a really tight timetable then.
All right.
Operation Burn This Village to the Ground, but not the children. Is it go?
I think we should get a catchy.
Yeah, it's a work in progress. We
It's
can
a work
figure it
in
out along the way.
I don't know. I feel like it's pretty descriptive. It touches on everything that we need. Burn the village down, not the children. Let's do it. Hands in.
And in.
We've all got our
Okay.
hands in.
Y'all put your hands in, and you see Sloan like go to extend an arm out.
No, you're staying here.
Clout swats
What?
that hand.
Well, like, why can't we come?
Because we need you all to make sure that Will sleeps soundly.
Okay, but like if
Very
Will's
important.
asleep, like his plan won't work then.
Why not?
Well, you can do the plan when Will wakes up.
Well, why can't we all do the plan when Will wakes up?
Listen, we're gonna need you all to stay here and be on guard in case we fuck anything up.
Mm-hmm. You're our backup. That's very, very important.
All right, but if you want us to stay behind and make sure Will doesn't wake up, then
I'll turn into a horse again when I get back.
And there's a pause, and you can hear that like boom, 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 boom inside
Horse girl.
inside the horse girl's chest. And Sloane like shakes her head and she's just, no. I want you all to teach us one swear that Will wouldn't know. So that way when he wakes up, we'll know something that he doesn't know. And Bobby and Zenor are both like, yeah, new swears.
Keep Will asleep. And I'll tell you a swear no one knows.
Roll a persuasion check. With advantage, because you put the most money in the swear jar yesterday.
Clearly,
Oh
I
yeah,
know
we'll
so
teach
many
you a whole bunch of
swears.
heckin' swear words. You'll be cursing off a dang darn storm.
23.
All the kids are just like mouths agape, and then Sloane's gonna be like, I believe him. They almost killed a guy yesterday. Okay.
I've got homework. I gotta come up with a swear.
Yeah, so all these kids are like, yeah, we'll be quiet. We'll try and keep Will. We'll try and make sure Will's asleep. Okay. So the goal is to head off to Loomlurch.
Yep.
Okay. So
Town.
it takes roughly about, let me see here at the map really quick. It takes about 2 hours, all things considered, wandering through the woods to actually get to the outskirts of Loomlurch. Now, you see here, the forest is at its darkest here. Up ahead, a colossal dead oak lies on its side. 3 living trees grow naturally out of its fallen remains. Their shapes resemble towers, with candlelit windows twinkling in the gloom and wooden balconies encircling gnarled branches. On one side of the fallen tree, firelight spills from a pair of quaint storefront windows, illuminating a clearing with merchant stalls.
Huh.
All right, we're looking for a guy
You
named
pick up
Chucklehead.
anything while we're here?
We're not in Loomlurch, are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Loomlurch, compared to Downfall, which was like a small city, Loomlurch just looks like a big tree that's fallen over and has other things growing out of it.
Am I reading correctly that the Goblin Market is in Loomlurch?
That is correct. You would
Alright.
assume that the Goblin Market is the market-looking place.
I
Hey,
figured.
look, some goblins.
Oh.
All right, we're looking for a guy named Chucklehead.
Vice strolls over. Hey, any of you chuckle fuck? I
Okay.
meant head.
So, as you were walking over, you see 3 stalls selling candy are situated in this clearing, lit by windows carved into a giant fallen tree to one side of it. 2 goblins are working in each stall, and the whole enterprise is watched closely by a goblin with a toffee apple head who appears to be quietly muttering to himself. Now, when I say that his head is a toffee apple, I really want to put into perspective that his head
Oh my
is
gosh.
indeed
I love him.
a toffee apple.
Oh my god.
And it looks like there are like eyes that have been cored out and a like jagged pumpkin smile, like just again carved into it. And he just
I love this adventure so much.
Yeah, we got
Is that-
gourd-headed people. We got apple-headed
Yeah.
people.
Frogs on sticks, like
I think that
this has been
Clout
fantastic.
stops short and sort of squints and he says, "That guy remind you of anyone?"
Clapper? Wait, Clapper, are you still in there?
oh, I'm still down here.
Okay, cool.
It's a little dark.
Well, just squeeze the toy, it'll light back up.
I'll squeeze it as hard as I would if I was hugging you.
Oh, here, you can hug my arm real quick.
With the backpack
Yay.
and my arm.
I guess Clapper Claw was made by Granny Nightshade.
Mm-hmm.
This must be a thing she does.
Does have a wind-up gear in her back. I imagine constructs aren't too far off.
Alright, we better not screw this thing up. I feel like the consequences are dire.
It's just a wolf, but a little more dire. Any of you chucklehead?
And you ask the goblins at the stalls?
Yeah.
Okay. They shake their head. They are not chucklehead, and they point to the one with the toffee apple head.
There's a gold piece
Is it-
that gets flinged their way.
That's the boss.
Yeah, he'll flick a gold piece towards them. Chucklehead, I assume?
That's the name. Don't wear it out, gabish.
I think we're gonna be fast friends. I hear you're the man to talk to if I wanted an audience with a certain hag.
Oh, you're just gonna be really out front with this, gabish. Yeah. No, if you want to meet with Skepta, you came to the right place.
Listen, I imagine a bit of transparency between two parties when they are doing an open engagement is very key in fostering a long friendship.
No, you're right. It's a good time. But just on the level. She can be pretty nasty sometimes. Gabish.
Which way is the gear spinning this time? Do you know?
Right now, it's going fast. She's having a good day. She woke up. Have a good day. Last I saw. She's not come through Candy Market yet.
My associate, and he'll motion to Lowry, and I would like to parley with her today.
Okay.
Now, I assume there is some sort of cost in this, a commission fee on your behalf?
No, that gets added into the bonus later, Gabish. But, what is this pertaining to?
You see, the monarch of the Witchlight and I are on a bit of a tour around hither, thither, and yon, searching for potential allies in some endeavors that we are doing.
Roll a persuasion check.
Shake it, na na na, shake it, na na na. 23.
23. Chucklehead crosses their arms, nods, and says, I might have a maggot in my brain, but you seem like a stand-up guy.
Listen,
Give
if all
me 10
things-
minutes.
Okay.
And Chucklehead will stop, and begin making his way into the large felled tree. And as they open their door and enter inside, that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful session of Dungeons and Dragons. Because I really enjoy it. I enjoy this game. I enjoy these people. I enjoy playing it and running it. It's been a great time, but I always have a great time whenever these folks are on the channel. Hey, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi everybody, my name is RJ, and you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life, and sometimes, no, I don't have time to stream anymore. You can catch me here Mondays and Sundays. Mondays in our homebrew campaign as a Shadowkai wizard. Of course, here as Vice the Tiefling rogue. Over on Thursdays, Saturdays at GGK, where we're doing a hack of Good Society and Urban Shadows called Elegant Creatures. I think we're about to just start fighting things, it's gonna be great. One of the characters blew off a guy's arm who had like a detonator in it. It's wild. Saturdays, we're doing Star Power and a Pathfinder game that rotate bi-weekly. And finally, Sunday mornings over at the Hype Goblins channel, where I play a Azamar sorcerer bard who's bullying the police. DanaeKeener.com.
Hey everybody, I'm Sarah. You can find me everywhere on the internet as the Hype Goblin, where I do character cosplays of all things. Bet you wouldn't catch that. And I also do lots of other nerdy things. And why is it whenever I'm about to talk about myself, I don't remember anything that I do, but I could tell you what everybody at this table does. DanaeKeener.com.
Wait, Sarah, hold on. I need a notebook.
There's a cool thing that you're doing that I have heard. A little raven told me. They spelled from their rookery, I believe.
A raven from their rookery came
Yeah,
and told
yeah.
you?
What's that about?
Bless you, two nerds. Yes, it was announced this morning over on my channel. The Rook and the Raven has launched a affiliate program with some select creators, and I have one of them. So if you enjoy their products, I'm using my notebook for Lowry. They have a customizable modular system that is tailored to many different systems, including D&D, Pathfinder, Vampire the Masquerade, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, yeah, 40K, a whole bunch of others. I know Cypher System is coming up as one of their new ones, but you can use the code HYPEGOBLIN for 15% off your total order.
Now, is that the Hype Goblin or just Hype Goblin?
Just Hype Goblin.
And it's
Just Hype
15%? 1-5?
Yep, 1-5.
Wow, what a
15%.
deal.
Yeah, they're wonderful people. I am really enjoying working with them and getting to know them. DanaeKeener.com.
This is a report from Mediaflare's office to announce that I am a voice actor and tabletop streamer. There is something else coming on broadcast soon, starting on Thursdays. The SCP Foundation has recently come into acquisition of some multi-dimensional travelers. Stand by for a further report starting Thursday. DanaeKeener.com.
I want the audio cast and everyone watching to know, because you are cropped down, that Mediaflare just did a total camera change, and there was a recording around the edge and everything. It was just
Very excited.
Hell yeah, it was so cool. Hey everybody. Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. And you can also find me here on Thursday playing as a badass fucking Viking who rolled incredible strength, incredible intelligence, and terrible sanity. So if you want to come and see how that shakes out, show up on Thursday and watch Mediaflare DM an incredible game. You can also find me on Twitter. I've got a schedule there that I need to update. So go there, and maybe I'll have fixed it by then. DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey, Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Sunday, Monday, and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, one thing that we may have forgotten about this upcoming Thursday game. One, this is going to be in a brand new system. Like we said, Mediaflare is going to be running it. We're going to be doing some Pulp Cthulhu. So if you are a fan of Call of Cthulhu, but you don't want to see our characters bite the dust every 5 seconds, well, thankfully, we have a little bit of health. But as Danae said, her character is not the most sane. So we're going to find out more about that. As we said, this has to do with the SCP universe. So if you're a fan of SCP or Cthulhu, or you just like being around for the shows, hey, guess what? 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we got a certain IKEA to show off to all of you that I'm very excited for. But that's our Thursday game. Monday, we got Homebrew. Sunday, you're already here. But if this is your first time joining, you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point. Or you can go towards anywhere audio casts are made available for free. You can find us there under the same moniker. But speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show. So With that, again, it's called Nights in the Courtyard, the easiest way to ask us questions. Join us on Discord. The link can be found in the Twitch chat to the side or in the description of this video or audio cast down below. Hop into that Questions for the Courts chat. We will do our best to respond in kind. But with that, I would like to say thank you again to everybody who decided to stop by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!
Bye-bye!